Made a very last minute call. It's 4 o'clock to follow the tail of a southwesterly southwest wind to go to Arendal. Tomorrow there's going to be a southerly wind, making it a low shore. Lage wal, that's not very good, and it was supposed to be like 3, 4, but it became 5, 6. So the anchorage was protected, but it would mean that I would be there till Thursday, basically. That's a bit too long. There she is, in the open sea. Back once again. So let's see what the sea state is. We are doing it. Unfortunately, that always gives me a comfort feeling. Not the only one. I am one of the few though, but not the only one. So we have a nice wind, 15, 16 knots, and we're about to set sail. Welcome back, salty sailors, YouTubers. Another episode of Sailing Wind Rose, where I'm sailing the Nordics, and this is actually the first proper sail with a proper wind and proper seas, and that probably means that it's not the most comfortable sail, as it's not my natural habitat. I feel like a blessed man. Sea is merciful on me. We are going dead downwind, 7 knots through water, 4-ish plus through overground, and that's because we have a current against us. But the wind is still with us. I'm not sure for how long, but for now it is. We have some incoming waves from today. We had 6, and I saw even in the chart 7. So in a way, I'm happy that I decided not to go before that wind picked up. I was a little bit late, but I learned that you can also follow the wind instead of having a following wind. If you depart a bit later after a storm, there is also sometimes some wind left. So it's supposed to die down today, I think in the evening. Not sure what time, and I'm not sure if I want to look either. I know it's in the evening, and that's about it. I'm here. This is what counts. This is where the wind is. This is where I am, and whatever comes, comes. So the annoying part of sailing solo is that you have to do everything solo, including the recording of what you're doing, which sometimes is unhandy. The good thing is you have plenty of time to rethink and, well, explain you what I did. I'm about 15 miles out from my destination, which means that I'm almost halfway. I departed. The anchor up was quite an exercise, actually. Somebody already warned me for that, but it really was an exercise. Well, in the end I managed. Anchor broke free. Getting it up was actually not the part. It was like dug in like deep, and there were no waves. So there was wind, but there were no waves. So you have to position the boat on top of the anchor to pull it out. But there was a lot of clay, I guess, to it. Mud. You also have plenty of time to think of things that just occupy the mind, I guess, when you're sailing solo. So now we're just, cruising along, killing time by thinking of all the things I can do and should do or shouldn't do or whatever do. Or sailing is also a mind game. You kind of have to accept your fate and accept how it goes, and I have a very, very, very hard time doing that. I realize. It's a lot easier in the business world to just get what you want, arrange for it, make sure that it happens, and goes for everything in our lives. We can basically, like this, we decide that we're gonna do something, we arrange it. If you have the money, you can do it. You have your power boat, you have your car, you have your electric bike, you have everything. But with sailing, the thing you need is, yeah, what do you need? Trust, faith, stamina, patience, believe, or just nothing. Just wait, accept faith, and go with the wind and the waves. And if you thought this was already philosophical, well, warning, it becomes even more philosophical. It's nice to see how destinations pass by. You see them and it takes a long time before you're there. And then once you have them like midship, they kind of pass on you and they kind of drift away. And yeah, in what? In history. I don't think I will ever sail this part again, I guess. I don't know. Who will tell? That works really hard. That jumps on a boat, goes to the Nordics, and then without any routine experience, basically has to get to grips with his new environment. Well, you probably run into some issues. I think I did. And I would like to share it with you, because that is also part of sailing. Especially if you have time to think about things, sometimes you overthink things. What I did notice is that if you reach your destination, or if you're about to reach your destination, you have something to do, which helps. And the mood changes for the better. I think it's a positive feedback loop, I guess. I was heading for Arendal, but my friends from No Sail are actually in an anchorage, because they said there wasn't a lot of space in the harbor and it was really busy. So I decided to follow them. They could also follow me, but I'm following them, and they don't even have a YouTube as far as I know. But I feel two things of this. One, have I not prepared well enough? Two, I sent them a text, he answered, and he gave me the option. So you could argue that I did. And it feels a bit like cheating, actually, because I didn't look it up. I had some anchorages in mind. I also have 2 harbors in the city in mind. But if they're full, they're full. So then what do you do? So I thought then I will ask there what is the plan B, because they will probably have this more often. It's a way. I actually looked at it. It seems to be sheltered for what's coming, which would be amazing if it would be the case. Big thanks to No Sail, really, guys. Lifesaver. First, let's get there. In hindsight, I would say this is a little bit how the sailing community works. You give each other tips and you follow up on them when it's convenient. And this was a good tip. Not only the sail was very nice, we had a beautiful sail on the outside of the blind Leah, but at sea. We had a nice approach to the anchorage, and we had a beautiful anchorage as well. So when the hook was in the water, I fell asleep like a rock and woke up the next morning. It's breakfast time. It's rather late. I slept in till a time that I normally would sleep in when I was young, but still. We have some fruits going into the porridge that I'm making. We baked some coffee and we made a 1.5 liter can of water, hot water. I boil it once a day, that I basically use during the day. For ginger tea, it's the other one. Both all the stuff is in thermos, so it stays long, nice and good. We'll add some nuts and raisins to the porridge, and then that's a good start of the day. It takes me about 4 or 5 hours before I get hungry again. As with a lot of other times, there was another first. It started raining. That's an opportunity. I don't have a shower on board. It's was raining, so I figured, oh, maybe I can just stand in the rain. Do some showering. Now probably just scrub the boat a bit. Neighbors at Nose actually brought me apples. How do you like that? And I would like to make a remark on that, because what I kind of learned is that the sailing community is really about helping each other, I guess. I'm having an amazing contact with Rob, who is sailing solo to Oslo and is pushing on like, wow, respect. Eugene from Nosil, who with his daughter brought me apples while doing groceries. And somehow it gives you a very connected feeling. It's, I wouldn't call it instant friends or something, but you kind of know that you are there for each other if something would happen. And somehow that is a very comforting feeling. So although you have to manage it on your own, still think it's a fun element. So a happy discovery on sailing. I like it. Now it's time for cooking. So I actually bought this for Jacco and sort of for myself. But I'm curious to see what happens, because I cooked pasta in it, put it on 5 minutes, then turned off the stove. Now it's been sitting for 5 minutes, so supposedly it's ready. Let's see. Supposed to let the steam go. This is a very impressive thing. If you like just open it, it kind of whams out. Your whole boat is like a steamboat. But now it's supposed to be okay. So yeah, no pressure on the lid. And then let's see what happened to the pasta. I am quite curious to see. Ha! That's perfect. 5 minutes. A cannelli, tuna, sun-dried tomatoes, red onion, pasta, salad on a Wind Rose plate. Oh, lovely. Facing north. Actually, north is that way, but sprinkled some parmesan on top. So let's see how this tastes. Oh. Very tasty. Good recipe. Looking back all this material and creating these little bridges actually make me realize that a sailing and cooking channel could be, well, a big hit, because I think a lot of sailors really love eating. I do, at least. But then again, they also like nature. And for me, with a storm upcoming, I was wondering why it was so bloody quiet outside. it be the silence before the storm? Or would it be just be a normal day in Norway? Good morning. It's 4 in the morning and I'm out of bed because it's my day off. And I have anchor watch, which means I'm learning how the boat handles in somewhat stronger winds. And with somewhat stronger winds, I mean at the moment gusting into the 10th. So that's obviously not very strong. But it was a bit earlier, and I'm basically making sure that we are not dragging anchor, for one, and two, I'm making sure I know what the anchor normally holds. How do you say that? Not what the anchor normally holds, but like yeah, that's so 4 in the morning. I'm learning how the boat behaves with stronger winds. Oh yeah, it's just annoying. It starts at 4 in the morning. But anyway, I just saw that Rob arrived in Oslo. Man, job well done. 4 in the morning. He left at what, 8 yesterday or 7. He made a long day because he hadn't been sleeping all day. So curious to hear his story. But job done. Job well done, Rob. You made it. Your wife will be very proud of you. I am still in Arendal, and although my anchor spot is brilliant, because you can actually see that there is not a huge amount of wind, I am stuck because it's blowing a 7/4 outside, 6, gusting 8, 7. That's a little bit too much for me. So 2nd day in a row. So I'm in a pretty standard routine. Making the porridge in the morning, boiling a kettle of water full to put that in the thermos. That'll be enough for the whole day. I basically use the stove once a day also because I forgot to bring a bottle. I have only 1 bottle left, so I'm restricting myself. I made the pasta the other day, which was cold, but except for the pasta. And I have some left of that, so I can eat that. So maybe tonight I'll make another warm dish. I'll see. Make the coffee in the morning. Make a ginger tea that's over there. I'm gonna read a book, and I'm gonna do some work because I wasn't fully finished yet. And if that is all done, then I hope it's another day. I might use the canoe. At least I have to deflate it again because I inflated it. Or I might store it on deck. I don't know. I'll think about that. And I will be looking at a route. And I'm actually reading an amazing book. The book is called The Purpose of Existence. De zin van het bestaan. And it's from an ex-Jewish person that got a prisoner in a concentration camp, termination camp from the Nazis. I don't know how you call it, but he talks about the purpose of life, which I find interesting. But the core of his message up till now is that even in the worst of situations, which he says he was in, which I, well, can imagine, you still have the opportunity to have an attitude towards your faith. Well, that's not an easy cookie. So I'll probably read that today. And then I have one other book. It was recommended by Ignacio, and it is called The Big Picture. Haha. And I have No Rules Apply as a backup, which I think is Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. So yeah, basically you have my whole day. That's also sailing. If you are in a situation where you can't go sailing, then this is what you do. Wait. Dankjewel. Doei doei. From my new made friends from the Nozzle, where I actually had a drink with my little kayak, I learned that you can pour some olive oil, a few drips. Well, this should be a few drips in the toilet to make it flush better, because it's a bit stroef, they say in Dutch. It's a bit not very easy to handle this, so they said it was possibly this actually helps quite a bit, but I also feel that the core of the issue is that it gives me pressure. This does work quite good. What a good tip! Thank you! Yeah, that's a lot smoother. Great day today. Made all the planning, started with the overall route, moved on to looking at the details, with planning from A to B to C to D to E to F, all the way down to Gothenburg, 30-mile stretches, good wind in the maps, pretty good. Now enjoying. Another episode of Sailing Wind Rose. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like down below. And I would also love it if you just leave a comment on what you thought of this episode, or if you have any tips for next ones, or if you have a feeling on it, or whatever. Maybe you're a novice sailor and you want to ask some questions. Feel free. Comment section is all yours and I tend to reply. Next episode we will be going to Resort, where it's really busy, I can tell. And we have quite some wind and waves. Hope to see you next time. Hit subscribe if you want to make sure that you see it in your suggestions. And then fair winds, following seas. Cheerio. Comfortable? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. These waves are rather big from yesterday, I guess. They are impressive. They are impressive.